Okay. First of all, take to check the lengthen command. What is the lengthen command? Lengthen means is you increase your length. Okay, increase or decrease the length of the any object. Okay, to the increasing and decreasing the length. This is called a lengthen command, right? After we increase and decrease the length of this box. Okay. When we create a length, a length is the first point, and the length is I check is here is 100 mm. Okay. And then I check the shortcut key of the lengthen, LEN. Lengthen means increase your length of the any position of the line. Suppose you want to increase your this line, okay, length. So how can we increase the length? We have three, four options: delta, percentage, total, and done. Right? We have four options. Talk about each and every option. Yeah. So how can we do that? First of all, we have the option of delta. Okay. When we click on this part, then what should we go say here? We current length is your 100 mm. This is also show you current length values. Okay. Then if you want to delta option, suppose you want to show the delta, then what's the delta do? Just check this out. I enter DE for delta, and then here we have the delta. Enter the delta length. Suppose I enter at 10 mm. Then let us see what will happen if you so use this. When we click on this, what will happen here? In the right hand direction, we got the increment of the line with the length of 10 mm. Okay, with the length of 10 mm, when we click on it, my line will be increased as a 10 mm. Right? Just click on this part, and then my line will be increased. Okay. If you again click it, then 10 mm every time is clicked. In each which direction, you just click on it, and then 10 mm value will be increases. Right? If again I enter again and then use a delta first, and then here I use a minus 10, not the plus 10. Just what will happen when we come this part, that your line length will be decreases in form of 10 mm. Once you use to plus 10 and then minus 10, whatever this is used, the distance of this part is in decreases, right? If you use the plus, okay, distance of your part is increases, right? Just about 10 mm. Okay, just click on it, and then you got a 10 mm plus values, right? Anyway, you can click it, then your values will less, right? Then come to the next part of the lengthen command is your percentage. P enter for the percentage, and here we have the percentage values 100, and that means 100%. If we take here is a 110, this is 100 to 110%, then what will be happen? If we have the actual size of the any length, we have to increase is 10% right here. Okay, 10% by use of the actual length. This is called 110%, right? Suppose you have 100 mm, then you increase the value is 10 mm. If you have a 110 mm, then you increase is 10% is 11 mm. Okay, it's used by the total length of the data. Just click on it, and then you get increment. Okay, if you use the 90% here, suppose you use a P entry, and then here I use a 90% instead of this pass, then what will happen? I decrease the 10%. Okay, that's why yeah, every time this will be decreases and convert into the 90%. Okay, if you click here, my length will be decreases, right? And then if you here click it, my length will be decreases, right? This is why case by use of the thing, and you get the data right here. Okay. Then again, we click on it, and then what's the data will be have? Current length is 98.011 because I said this. Just use a total value for I want to increase this in form of 150 mm. Then what's you do? My total length is 150. Then after that, when we click on it, then my value is changed into 150 mm. Okay. If you again you change this total value is 100, then what's happened? my value convert into the 100 mm. This is the total value set to for the current line. Okay, current line, current object, whatever it is. Okay, this is the lengthen command for the total parts, right? So did this. Okay, if you again click it, don't working because my length will be just as 100 mm and I can't increase and decrease right here. Okay, this just work as one time only. Then again, I use a lengthen command. Here we have the dynamic option also. dy is a shortcut key of the dynamic. Just click on the dynamic. Then what will happen if you click here and then here, if you can dynamically increase the length and then decrease the length where you want to click here. Okay, if you click here, then dynamically you can increase in this direction and then decrease this length. Okay, this is just used for the adjusting your length of the any diagram, anything. Okay, that's why this is used. Just clear? Okay. Okay, next one will be come to the path is your align. Okay, what's the align do? Align just do. mm, Once I click on it, I make something for this part. I make a rectangle here. This is my simple rectangle, right? And then I make a line command and use it and then use this direction, right? And then I want to align this object in the direction of this line. Okay, मैं इस line के according इस object को align करना चाहता हूँ तो मैं कैसे करूँगा? Okay, how can we do that? For this pair, you have the align command AL enter. Okay, align shortcut key is your AL enter. Select your object first. This is your object and then hit enter. Select its first source point and then your destination point, right? And then again, you can hit the enter. Then what will happen? First source point will be met this point, and then your object will be come to this together. If I don't need it, I just align it here. It was you do. Just use the EL enter, right? And then select this object first, and then hit enter, and then after this first source point, and then here I take a first destination point, and again you should take a first second source point and take is the second destination point. Hit the enter and then click on it. What will be happen? My object will align at the position of this line. Okay, how where the line is located and in the angle it with this, my object will be like this part. Okay. If here again we use the AL enter and then select our object and suppose here I click it first destination and this point is my this and then second destination and this point is this. Minimum two destination point will be selected. Okay, and source point. And then if you choose more than this one, okay, you can also choose this, but two is necessary for aligning the perfect way. Okay, and just click on it and then I click on no. Okay, and what will happen? This portion will be aligned this point where you select your first point and align with this line. Okay, but I want to align with this point to this point. Then how can we do that? For this purpose, what we do? For this way, we have the option is AL at the first. I guess AL at the select our object and then select a first destination point to first source point. Okay, and first or second source point to second destination point. After that, we have the one option is your scale object based on alignment points. Okay, if you click on yes, then what will happen? Your object will be scaled and then fit to the alignment points. This is those alignment point, right? Also, I take the one example for this part also. Suppose here I make one thing. Here we have the length. One, this is my length, and this is this length. And next one is you. Okay, this is my object point. And in this case, I want to align these points. Okay, suppose here I click on this path and then move over to there. Like this and then use this part and then I want to align it. This will be not fitted and this will be not fitted here. Then how can we fit this part? To fit and scale this object by on behalf of these 2 points. Then how can we do that? For this purpose, what you do? For this purpose, you do X here as one thing. So stretches like. And then what we do? Just select this, align AL enter first, and then select our object there. Okay, and then select your destination point, first destination source point, therefore source point to first destination point. Then select say, second source point to second destination point, and then hit the enter. And then yes, click on the yes. Then what will happen? My object will be scaled and then fit to this point right here. Okay, this will be shown. Okay, this will click. If I want to do this for the same, I copy this one, and then I want to do this for the same. Okay, I use the AL and to align it, and then just click on first point to second destination point, and second source point to second destination point, and then enter, and then you click on the yes, and then what will was here we got this part, and then also I want to use this part. Just use the AL enter first source point and then first destination point, second source point, and this is your second destination point. Hit the enter and then click on the yes, and then this will be aligned and scale up on behalf of this object. Okay, this is mainly used for this part. Okay, yeah, that's why align object is mostly used. Okay, for aligning the object in between where you want to align, and then also scale on behalf of this alignment points. That's clear. Then next one is come to the break. What's the break to? Suppose say I use it, this is my IC way. Whatever you want to IC, just do it, and then if this is my line, okay, and then use it. If you do this part also in the circle command, for break we use a BR enter, and then once you do, just click on it, and then what's happen? This points to next one will be back, and then this will be open, right? Back in any way you can use in the circle command also. This is why I use this part, and then if you want to use the same line command, you can also use it. And this will be either different line, and this will be different line. If you want to use here, it's a break again, and then I break it this point, and then I break it this point. And what will be one? This will be object is different, this object will be different, and then here this object will be different, this object will be different. Okay, same object. There, this object will be different object, right? And then make it a different way. This is my break, right? Is it? Next one is yours. Here we have the other option is your bracket point. Bracket point is generally useful. Suppose here I have the and then use the that is 0 first, and then after that I use this is a rectangle, right? And then also I'm create here the line, and then I use a bracket point. For the bracket point, not as a set key, just say it is a bracket point all name, and then select it. If you click on this any point, suppose here, suppose first of all select the object, then click the point where you want to pack. That's what will happen. This object will be different, and this object will be back. This will be back as the point, and this will be back in the distant formation. Same thing you can do in this part also. Just use a bracket point. Okay. Bracket point and use it, and then click on first of all select the object, and then click on where you want. Select bracket point, and then click on specify the breakpoint, and then what will happen? Your objects will be back. Okay, and then move it. And enter. Then this will be back and this will be back. Okay, you have to find out the nearest point here, and then next one where you want to click it, and this will be portion will be back. This is called a bracket line, and this is called the back line. Is clear all of you? Yes, I know. So clear all of you? Yes.
अच्छा
Okay. Good.
ब्रेक कट प्लान
Yes. Was will happen? क्या हुआ? कुछ doubt?
ब्रेक பண்ணும்போது break it happen னா line is missing
Your
last
voice
one
is not clear. Your voice is Your voice is not clear actually. Please write in chat box always. This part. Write your doubts in the chat box because your voice is not clear. Vijay, write your doubts in chat box. Okay, take one example of break command. Okay, suppose here I create something. I use a circle right here, and then circle distance I use is 50. Okay, then I use a polygon, and the right is the size of the sets. Click on here, and the second step auto circle. This is my polygon, right? And again, now see I want to create a polygon. I create the circle first, and this is my circle. And here I create the circle, right? And then use a polygon again. And then here use a six side of the polygon. Use as a center point and circumscribe close circle. And this is hexagon, right? And then I want to threading. And then I show the threading right here. Then how can we show the threading? Just use a circle first and then make this circle as if we want. And then use a BREAKATPOINT. And then click any points right here. And then just back it. And this look like as a threading. Okay. This is your threading option. Okay. This is your option. This part is to show as like a thread. Line or height next. Line and height. Where line is hiding? Line is nothing hiding. Okay. Here we don't hide the line. Just erase this portion. Okay. Here I erase this portion and this line will be disappear, not a hide. Okay. And then back at point, just back it at any position. Yeah, cut. Also for say as a cut. Cut the line, cut the objects. Back is used for the cutting the object, cutting the portion by use of the line, cut at the points, cut at the edges. Okay. Any option you can use it, right? Just clear all the. Then go further to the next command is array command. Okay. Array command means that is multiple copies. Array command is means that multiple copies. Multiple copies in the form of the rectangular array, polar array, and then path array. Okay. We use a multiple copies by use of the copy command also, but here we use the things. Suppose here I want to make this field insert, and then I use your object is your dimension is 250 by 200, and this is your object, right? And then I want to create one thing here. I see enter, and then I want to create it here. As dimension is your 25 by 20. Okay. And then I want to create here is a circle again. Anything you can create here and just use this move. I make this type of thing by use of the this way also. And again, you use a move command, select this and then how many distance we take here is 12. Okay. And then our direction, I want to also take a move action. And then here I want to take is direction of the tab, right? And I want to copy it by use of edit. Okay, first of all, I copy again, CO and then I copy one thing. And then the same thing I make by use of the edit command. And then one thing is used by the copy edit. CO enter copy and select this object, right? And select this base point. And then what you do, just use this edit first. And then how many objects you can calculate, you can make here. Just you can calculate it first and then right here's the distance. Okay, suppose here we have the distance of the 250 mm. Here we have to take the 10 mm and 230 mm, right? And difference between the object is 10 mm. Then how many objects will be created? Suppose I created a 5 object right here. So how can we create the five object of the distance of the 10 mm, right? And this will be happen. Okay, so how can we create this right here? This will be confusing, right? For this we what we do, For this purpose, we can use the array command. Here we have the array command is your rectangle, quadrat, and port. Just what you do for array command, AR enter first, select your object. This is my object, and then hit to enter. And then what do you want to select? Rectangle type array, part array, whatever you want. Just click on the array. Then what will happen? Here we got the value of this type. Okay, and then you use it. This is when we use the center point here. Then this center to this center, I take this is a 25, right? And in this case will be used by the rows, and this will be case used by the column. Okay. Suppose I want to take here is your distance, and suppose I want to this distance is sufficient, and then if it's not sufficient, then I use a 35. Okay. And then here I want to create is right here is how many length. Okay. If needed, I want to create 7. Okay. And then again right here, suppose I use 32. Okay. And this will be look as 31. Okay. Just calculate it by use of right here, and then you can also use this part, and then this will be cases are not whatever you want. Suppose here I use a 7, and here I write here the 25. Okay, not a 25 here, is right here the 28. Here we have the distance between them, and then create this very well. Okay, all the values will be shown in this part, and this will be make it okay is perfectly, and then all the value will be shown here. And this was is easier to make your multiple copies in the single way. Okay, and then just click on close and okay, and this will be created. And then in this case, we will just calculate these first, and then make is how many items are be created, and after that, first of calculate this columns where columns, and then calculate these rows. But in this case, we use the diagonal way, and then we create this everything. Okay, that's why we can use the array command. Let's click how we use the array command. Okay. And let's create it, and then now I can explain how can we use the array. Just I make this some examples, and select directly to the rectangle array in this part here. Just click on this part and then click on enter. Then we have to create here is 4, 3, and then any values. And 4 is here shows the number of column. I click on 5. This is show the number of column, and this is shows the number of rows. This is my rows, and this is my column, right? And this is your distance between them. Okay, what's the distance between this point to this point? Okay, and then I also show this part. Suppose here I want to take here as a 100, and then here I want to take here as a 50 distance between them. Okay, this point to this point and this point to this point. And if you I want to take his distance much easier, then you can also, and then you can also write here is a total distance between them. Okay, and then here we have the two option columns and notes, and then we also have one option is this my labels. Once the label is, I also talk about this part. And then first of all, this is your basic way. We can create here. And then here for this purpose, we have the dynamic option also. This is my option for the creating the rows, increasing my rows values and decreasing my rows values. Whatever you want, just click on it. And this is also used for the increasing the column values and rows values. Okay. By use of the dynamic way. And this is the part you can create for both the direction. If you want to column, if you want to rows, just goes to here. Okay. Okay, and these points will be used for the adjusting the distance manually. Okay, and this point is also used for the this adjusting the distance manually, and then this is point used for the move the object. Okay, and this is a source object. If you close the then this object will be disappear. Okay, source object will just only show when you are editing it. And then if you want to edit it again, then you just click on this part, and then your edition option will be again shows, and then you can edit here. Okay, suppose here I want to take this 80, and then here I want to take here is a 55, this age, okay, and then I want to calculate this 555, okay, whatever you want, 555, right? This is your again you can adjust this and then edit this one, right? This way you can use array command. Okay? Click on it. I also apply this part of the anything. Suppose you have a circle, we also apply this part of the circle also again. See enter and then select your AR enter and select which type of array is your rectangular. Select your distance between them. Here we I select this 20, 120, and then here I want to select again is 120. Okay. For the distance I uses same, and then here I uses 5 and then 5. And the next one is your option is the labels. What's the label? Levels do is shown not here. Suppose I write here the 3 levels, and then distance between them is my 50. Okay, it's not 50 here. I use 100. Okay, And then this will be not shown in this part. This will be shown if you go to 3D way. This is called a level. Okay, you just make a level of this part. This is only done on the 3D, not the 2D. Okay, that's why this is not shown at the 2D part. This will be shown on the 3D option also. That's why we don't use the level side here. If you click again, and then I re-edit it, and then say it is 1, and then I also write is a distance between 1 and then 1, right? Right. This is your array of. Next thing I do this, I when click here and then I also re-edit it. But if what if select it and then make a edit and then select a rectangular edit. And then if I close the associate option, what's the associate option do? If your associate option is off, then what will happen? When we recreate in what, my object will be different way, and then this will be not can't be re-edited. Okay, this will be as a single object, like as a object, and when we click on it part, and then we go over to the addition option also. Okay, if we got the addition, when we click on this part, and then this will be also the addition option, right? Okay, this will be re-edited. Okay, if you want to edit it, then you can use it this part. That's clear. Okay. By this way, you can re-edit it. This is your re-edition option, right? Come to the next part is it. And then in this case, I can't re-edit because all the objects are different. If you want to shows as object in different way, just you can also do as one thing and select your object first and then use a explode. X enter for the explode, and after that explode, the object will act like a same as like the associative object. So if I remember that if you want to re-edit the object and then you don't want to, I want to re-edit it and then want to difference and divide this object and different object, then you can all use associative is always off. If associative off, then what will happen if you can't re-edit it? Okay, your object, right? This is called a simple rectangular array, and then I also talk about that a simple example of the rectangular array. That's correct. How can we use the rectangular? And come to the next part is your polar array. What's the polar array is to? Polar array is mainly used for the copy the value in the circular way. That's why you can use a polar. Okay. Here we use a C enter for the circle, and then right here C enter. Make a circle right here, and then here I use a circle also. And then I want to make this circle multiple circle inside this circle. Then how can we do this for this part? For this part, you use the AR first, and then select the object first, and try to select which type of array you want. So I want here is a polar array. Just click on polar, and then select your center point first. And then if you select here is a center point where you want to, which points you want to allocate your objects, this, then what will happen here where this option will be appear. And then in this option, we have the shown here is the number of items and rows. Here we don't have to find out the rows and columns, only number of items and rows. How many items you want. Suppose here we have to show here 9, I want to 10 option. Then what will you got say here we got the 10. Here distance between is 36, 36 and 36 degree between their center point and 360 is your total angle. Okay, suppose here I want to again write here is 60 and then here I want to write here is 180. Then what will happen? My circle will be only shown here in the 180 cases. Okay. And then if you want to 360, then all the circle in the circular way. Okay. And this is will be appear, right? And this case will be uses. Here we have same as a label option also, and then I also talk about the rules. Here this is also straight option. If you want it, then we can re-edit it. If your associate option is off, then you can't even re-edit it, right? Let's copy this thing again. See your enter. And then I want to make one thing. I click on it path and the spares to it here. And then here I want to write here is the 180 degree. Okay, here we have the 180 degree. And then I want to create this rules. Right? Second rules I use it. This is my rules. Okay? Where you want to create here is the rules, and then also use the specify this distance between them and here this is your distance between these 2 points. Okay, you can get it, and this will be rows. You can also create the rows option by use of this video. Okay, and in this case we have two option of this part also. Here we have two things. First thing is what? Okay, your how many rows are there. You can create how many distance between there. Okay, based to the baseline. Okay, to use the baseline icon. Okay, if you want to show the distance between baseline, then you can use it. And then here we have the option for the increasing the size of the value. Then here we increase this, and then this will be increases, right? Okay, this will be increased. Yeah, I want to increase in this case. Okay, you can also say set your angle between them. Okay, and then if you want to not want to reset your angle, then what should you do? But you can also move on it. Okay, move this parts to other bit and just space it and then click on OK. This will be here to move. Okay, you also move it this parts, right? And then here, if you have to use the rows and columns, and then we have two options: have the rows and columns, increase the rows values. Okay, right? And then also uh, increase the distance between them. This is why you can use AI. And then same thing you can use for this purpose. You can also want to create this by 360, 180, whatever you want. You can create this portion by using this way. And then also you can want to create this, and then you can also make this thing. Okay, just create it. Okay, this way you can create the polar. Okay. At last, I also explain polar array of last portion. One example, I also explained the polar array. One thing, I use the polar array by use of things. Suppose here I want to create C enter circle here, and then I want to show this here. Is a rectangle command I use to create here. Okay, suppose here I want to create a rectangle, right? And this is my rectangle, simple rectangle, and then I use to move it. Yes, center point to use as a quadrant point. And then here, this is my round table, and then you want to arrange this part in the round section. Then how can we do that? For this purpose, we use a polar array. Just click on the polar array first, select your object first, just hit the enter, and then click on this point. Then what you get here, you got this point, right? Okay. And then if you want to got this point right here, okay, and just close it. This is your object will be made. And then if you re-edit it, just click on it, and then here you have to write here as 8. Whatever you want to write here. Just one thing you can also select the this will be rotated up, CO and just copy it. And then I want to do one thing here. If I don't want to rotate it, then what you happen? Just off this option. Then what will happen? The object will be act same, not rotate in the direction of this part. Okay, if you want to make this type of thing, then you can use this the rotate option. Okay, if you don't want to this type of thing, then use this part. Right. This is where you can create your data. Okay, you can also make anything and then also rotate here. Okay. This clear to you? How can we create this thing? And how can we make this? All this clear? Yes or no? Okay, none of them answer them. Okay, come to the next part is your path area. Okay, I also make take one example of this follow area at the last of the class. So first, use a path area first. Explain the path area first. Okay. Path area is simply used for the following the any part. Suppose here we have the arc of this line, and then I want to make something inside this path. And then suppose I want to make here a circle. Make here is a circle, and then I want to follow the circle inside this path. And what we do? For this purpose, we use a path. And suppose first of all, AR enter, select first object enter, then here we select a path. And which path you want to follow, just click on it and the path where object will be followed. Here we don't assign you items, how many number of items. Here we can also use for this type. Okay. And then my items will be decrease and increase by on behalf of this path. Okay, suppose here I use a 65, then my items value is 8. Okay. Here we have the option of the rows also. We want to rows is this, and then I want to show the distance between them is my 65. This will be shown as the rows option. Okay. And in this case we have the labels also. We have to create this path when we increase this size and decrease the size. My size will be increases, and then here we have to increase my rows. Okay. And then if you want to increase my size of the rows, then you can use this, and then also this will be used to do that. Okay. This is a rose option. This is followed a path, then was this why this will be also used as a path. Okay. Suppose here if you want to do this thing, suppose I use a arc here, okay, and then I make something this type of thing. Okay. Suppose I want to make IC entry, okay, and then make this type of rectangle, right? And then I want to rotate first. This is my rotated object, right? And then on behalf of this part, and then one thing I select is CPU entry. And from this part, if you select here, this is your AR entry. Select the first object and then enter, then select the path edit and then select your path. Then what will be happen? My text is my data is rotated and rotate in on behalf of this path. If you don't want to rotate it, then you want to show as it is, you can show here. Then what you do? Suppose here I again rotate here and then click on the path and then straightly I check it, okay? And then here what I want to do. So first of all, AR enter, select this proportion, enter and select my path and select your path first. Then I don't want to rotate it. Then what you do? Here we now unchanging align items. Align items with your data, okay, with your art. But I don't want to align it. Then what will happen? My items will be can't be aligned, but this will be aligned, right? This will be used is well by use of this way. Okay, suppose here you for this way what we do, once we make here, I suppose I make a semicircle. Okay, suppose I make a semicircle right here, and then I want to create one thing. So this here, too, and I want to create like a subject, and I'm entering and just move on it. And this is my part, right? And then I want to make it again move on this part. Okay, this one. Okay. And then come to this part, I want to rotate this part in this section. Then how can we do that? For this purpose, you use path here. Either it's select the path here. First, select my object. Then hit the enter. Then select your path. What you want to follow it. And then also specify between them is distance. Okay, this is my specified distance. Okay, and then also you can also tilt this angle. Okay, suppose I can't tilt it, then first of all I tilt this angle in form of this way. Select this and then arrow enter first, and then I tilt angle on behalf of suppose here. No, this part. Select this arrow and then select the points. Then just choose it. Something that is like so this will be perfect. Okay. Just okay. And then I just still did one thing because I make a perfect one. Just click on it and then select my path area first. Select the object first, then hit the enter, select my path, and then this will be made. Okay. On behalf of this way, you can create many of things right here. Suppose I use a 62. Okay. If you use here to the I make a 60 distance. Okay, this will okay. This will work. Okay. You can use any of the distance right here. 62, 61, 62. Okay, there we have the 62 right. Okay, this one. Okay. There you can create your shape by use of this way. Okay, and this will be look like as a channel option. Okay, this will look like as a channel option, and then you can also create this your data, and then the case is size, and then whatever you want to size it, just write it, and then if you want to 50, just click on 50, and then if you want to 45, just click on 45. Okay? And then by this way, you can create this type of thing also. Okay, this looks like a gray, and this is like as a tunnel option. Okay, where we have to show the big option, and this will be tunnel. Thank you. Okay, this thing as a value here, and then this will be just a simple example of your routing. Follow the path. Okay, or a command of the path edit. That's clear. Okay, one example I also show what the to how what you make, and then also you have to make this type of thing also by use of yourself. I use a sprocket here. I make a sprocket here, simple sprocket here right here. Suppose here I take 100 mm of the circle first, And after this, I use one circle in between symbol for just showing the row here, the position here. And then again, I want to create here is a one circle in between that. And this radius is 15, okay? And I want to make 6 of this circle. Then what you do? For this purpose, you can use polar, select your this enter at this part and then select your center point. And then here we have to create this 6, okay? And then again, I want to create here this line, and then create here is your 20 line length, okay? And there's a sketch, and create this option on it. And this, what is the trim? Okay, I use a trim. Yeah, I trim this two line. Yeah, I don't need it, and then also I don't need this. This is simple. And then select this part, and how many things you can align here, just use for by this use of the polar. Select the polar then, select your center point, and this will be open. This right here is this value. This will be okay. This will be so much. 30, and then this is also look like a so much. So right here the 26, and this will be show as a good way. Okay, and this simple way you can create here this pocket type of view. Like, you know, this simple way you can create here this pocket type of view, and then if you want to create scrolling case, so you can just I use one thing also is your etching, okay, as a tomorrow class I saw about the etching, okay, and this will be look like a help pocket, right? Okay. You can create anything. Don't want to use a hatching here because it's not explain here is hatching, but I just apply here because looking like this. Okay, you can anything by use of the array, and this is your output for creating many of this. Okay, just clear to use of array, how to use the array command and then other commands. Clear all commands? Mohit, Neha, Sonu, and Nisay. Any doubts from this section?